Hello, I'm Terri Lyons. I am the Western Region Representative for the Several Cross Foundation. I'm also a light member of Sigma Gamma Sorority Incorporated.
How did you get involved with Several Cross Foundation?
I was very, very close to Dr. Menor J. Bryant and to Soror Deborah Walsh. God a blessing to her soul. And when Dr. Bryant was the first international anti-Grand ambassador, was when the project began. And Soror Helen Owens, who is currently on the board of the Seven Pearls Foundation as well, when the process began to search for new headquarters, I was involved and worked very closely in all of that, including making sure, working on talking points when we were trying to introduce it to the body at the Boulé, and also working on helping to develop the process. How are we gonna do this? And what I mean by that is we had to stop and say, okay, wait a minute now, if we're gonna do this, somebody got to search. I mean, are we gonna have like a quote unquote headhunter type entity, send us possible locations and then set it up, and then who's gonna go around, this kind of everything. And so I kind of been there from the very beginning, including, like I said, I did a lot of behind the scenes work, talking to sorors, lobbying, working with people just so we could get the Grand Chapter to approve the process of searching for a new headquarters. So I've been involved from the very beginning because it was very important to me. I was very unhappy with the headquarters that we had in Chicago and really felt that we needed some, and I agree with Soror Owens and Dr. Bryant at the time, that we really did need something that would befit the organization, the greatness of the organization, the look of the organization, that was professional and just reflected well upon us. So it was something that was important to me as well.
Now, you said from the beginning. How many years ago was this?
20 years ago. 20 years ago. This is the 20th anniversary. And so, the main thing when I say from the beginning, my beginning was helping to, at the Boulé where the Grand Chapter voted to start the process to find a new headquarters. My beginning was to help with that. And then of course other things took place as time went on and stuff like that. But that was my beginning, was to basically get folks to agree to vote that we should do it. And then the real work began of locating a place. Then we had come back together, and then once the place was selected, and get the approval vote that this was going to be the place that we were going to purchase. Yes, it was a really interesting time. I learned a lot just watching them, Dr. Owens and Dr. Bryant go through that.
So, was there something special that happened anytime in the recent past, like the last few days, to mark all the work, the thoroughness of the work that was done?
Well, we recently celebrated the 20th, two things. We recently celebrated the 20th anniversary of the foundation, and we also burned the mortgage. Initially, when the property was purchased for the sorority, the Seven Pearls Foundation was formed to be the holder of and the manager of the property. And that was very important at that time because organizations were losing their real estate and their property to hazing lawsuits. It was a really, really nasty time for a lot of that. And some nasty things were happening. I mean, kids were being severely injured and people were suing and everything like that. And so it was recommended to us by legal counsel that a separate entity needed to protect the property and hold the property, not the sorority itself. Does not mean it doesn't belong to the sorority, but another entity needed to be the legally named holder of it. And so that's why the Seven Pearls Foundation was initially formed. And it was agreed at that time by the national board that once the mortgage was paid off, then the foundation, of course, would continue to maintain it. We would continue to take share of it. But there were other things and other initiatives that the foundation could also focus on that we felt would widen our footprint. I can think of a better way to put it, get our name out there more, widen our footprint more. free us up to do a little bit, because we weren't doing the active work of chapter building and the other things that have to go on when you manage an organization like a sorority. We didn't have that work to do as a foundation, so there were other things we could do, but that could augment that work, and that could augment some of the community initiatives and other work and things that the chapters were actively doing. We could be a great support at that, and so that was the original vision. So this weekend, we burned the mortgage. We paid it off. So we're very excited. Our sisterhood has a beautiful home. And personally, something I'm very, very proud of. I take great pride in this place. I take great pride in the dedication and hard work over the years. Many, many fundraising campaigns. Lots of things had to go on. Sora's sacrificed, Sora's gave, Sora supported. And my heart is full with gratitude and love for the women who supported this vision, because they wanted us to have a beautiful home. And I'm really, really grateful for that kind of caring as a sister of St. Unae sorority.
What has inspired you to remain involved?
In what? In the sorority or in Seven Pearls, or both?
Well, let's start with,
Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I'll start with the sorority.
okay.
When I pledged, first of all, I'm Alexi. I have a cousin. I'm my mother's only child, and I have a cousin on my mother's side who was a charter member of Delta Pi Warrensburg, University of Missouri, Warrensburg, Missouri. And so I'm a legacy. She's like, the big sister I grew up with, even though, you know what I mean? She was like my big sister. And so everything Rochelle did, I wanted to do. I was following her around all the time. She always jokes that prior to her going off to college and everything, I was like her hit baby. You know what I mean? Just always kind of on her hip, and she took me everywhere, and we're still very close, even to this day. And so, when I finally was able to pledge, I came to the pledging era. I was also blessed that the two advisors of my chapter at that time were grad members who were from Tuskegee, Alabama. They both gone up to Tuskegee. And so they were also very old school and traditional in the style of being old school and traditional as people who are members of Greek letter organizations. And so they really just taught us that, you do this for life. You don't do that. You know what I mean? I have a best friend now that I actually brought in as an undergrad, and we've both always been still active, and we talk about that it never occurred to us, listening to Darlene and Candy, that we were supposed to do anything else. We just did what they told us we were supposed to do. So that kept me going, and recognizing that I had made a commitment, and it was very important to me to keep that commitment. It's important to me to be a person who walks my talk, and it's important to me to be a person who keeps my word. And so when I made the commitment, There was a couple of years I wasn't financial. I was out of work one year, and I was a single parent also, so that was another thing. So I couldn't really afford it, but I stayed around and stayed involved and did what I could so I could get my money right and get back in and pay dues and stuff like that. And that was in my late 20s. But other than that, no, I've been the whole time. The Seven Pearls, again, for a very similar reason. I became very committed to this. I've made some promises. I made some promises to Sora Owens. I made some promises to Sora Hall. I made some promises to Sora Tree. I made some promises to Debbie, Sora Deborah Walsh, and to Dr. Brandon. Again, it's important to me to keep the commitment and to keep my word. Plus, I fully believe in what we're doing. I fully believed at the time we were involved in the process and purchasing the location. I fully believed in the whole notion and idea of us having a beautiful, professional, amazing looking, befitting organization of our stature type of headquarters. As I told you, I had serious problems with the Chicago location. And all of that was important to me. I wanted people to drive up to this building and be like, well, okay, that snaps in Darrell's doing it. Absolutely, we are. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And of course, I became as a part of all that goes with it, I became fully committed to the mission, and I became fully committed to protecting it from all sorts of things that can happen. As you know, when you're in an organization, one of the sorors said it earlier last night, and it was so appropriate. She's like, the White House is always the White House. Now, a president may come and go every 4 years, a president may come and go every 8 years, but the White House remains the White House. And so, in that sense, I feel committed to the same pros condition, because this building and the care of it and the maintenance of it, and most importantly, it has to remain financially secure, and it has to remain financially secure so that even though the mortgage, up until the mortgage is paid out now, but their maintenance still has to take place. There's a lot of care that goes into it. Repairs have to be, a lot still goes on when you own, financially, when you own a building like this. And so all of those things are still important. And those things cannot change when we get a new grad bachelor's every 2 years. Those things must remain consistent, and most importantly, those things must get done. So a large part of my commitment is I believe in that as well. I believe that it's very important that doesn't matter who's in office, but it is very important that our home be secure, that our home be safe. No one can come and take it from us. Someone can't come and maybe make bad financial decisions, and then all of a sudden now our home is at risk, or we're going to end up losing our building, or it's heavily second mortgaged, and all of a sudden dues aren't enough and we can't cover it. I mean, all sorts of things can occur. So the fact that the foundation was created to safeguard the property from any external threats of that nature, or anything that could possibly cause us to lose it, that's significant. I believe it was intelligent, and I believe it's appropriate even now. So that's why I remain committed to it. Of course, it remains singing brokers. I love it. At a regional syntactics once tell me, girl, I'm sure if they could, you would probably bleed. You would love Sydney Road. And I hadn't even given it a thought at the time. I was like in my early 30s when she said that. It went, well, that's how people see me. Maybe I do, you know what I mean? But it was not something I ever thought about. I just did it, and I did it because it was important to me. And I do. I love what 7 founders had in mind by creating this organization. I love what it could be. And most importantly, the moments when sisters function, operate, and behave as sisters and accomplish things are fabulous and wonderful moments that should be noted and remembered. And I do love those moments. And I've been blessed. It's not been a perfect journey, but I have been blessed to have enough of those that when it does get bad, you know, I can say, wait a minute, this still remains worth it.
Vickie, I have to look up on average what the expenses are to run a building of this size. I've walked around. It's a pretty magnificent building. So I've got to do some research so I understand what do air conditioning unit, or what does it cost to, redo flooring and,
all the people evaluate how to manage a home. I know what it costs to buy an air conditioner and a home.
It was almost $300,000 to get a new roof. We had to get a new roof. It's a lot.
how much?
It was almost $300,000. But the roof's not leaking. It's not. The roof's not leaky. But yeah, it's maintenance is real. It's real. It's
The roof, there's electrical, there's plumbing.
That's right. Exactly. And we have a parking lot that it can't be full of potholes and messed up. It has to stay maintained, lines properly drawn, the paving correctly. You have to remember to have people come out and do what they call the shoring up for the foundation of the building, because over time, land moves and the building slips. We've had to pay to have that done. These are things no one sees, but they have to take place, and they're important because there's no point in buying a building that you're not gonna take care of it. It's like, why would you buy a house and then move in and then it's just all apart? No, you gotta take care of it. And the lights don't get turned off here. And we're happy to say that then they don't get turned off because the bill isn't paid. The lights have stayed on since we moved in. So it's San Pro's violation to follow that. The heat works, the air conditioner works, the elevator works, and all of that costs money.
Yeah. And I can attest to it. My time here this weekend. Yeah, everything works. When I flip a switch, the light comes on. When I ran the water, I turn on the knob, the water came out. So yes, I'm gonna do some work to kind of get myself up to speed in terms of how much something like this costs. Just to manage on a regular monthly basis with no emergencies.
There are no emergencies, exactly.
Right. Thank you so much for that.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm back here with Soror Terri Lyons. What impact would you like Seven Pearls to have in the wider world?
I like the idea, again, of course, taking care of the home, the property. I like the idea of that, but I also like the idea that now, since the merge has been paid off, again, thank you, Soros, love you, appreciate you, that we can become more of a philanthropic arm. As a 501c3, we can fundraise actively. We can get grants and a whole bunch of other things at a 501c7, which is what sororities organize, which all fraternities and sororities, that organizations are organized through the IRS tax codes, not just us. I mean, that's just what the IRS says you go under if you're that kind of organization. So the 501c7 can't. There's lots of things that we can do, and I love for us to be able to partner. One of the things that makes this a very exciting time in all of this for us is, again, the hard work, the grunt work, the struggle, as they say, that part, thanks to the sacrifice of our life members and the sacrifice and hard work and generosity of so many others. That part has been taking place. We fulfilled the first promise that we made to our organization, which was that they would have a beautiful home that was well maintained, that was taken care of, that would be something that was substantial and something worth being proud of and bearing the name. So we're very, very excited and happy to say that we were able to keep that promise and fulfill that promise. It's very important. And now that part is over, and we're very excited because now we can actually focus on doing some other good things to help in the field of education, in the community. We'd like to find organizations and that are doing good work that could use a little more exposure, that could use some support, that could use some help, that would not mind having a partner come aboard. We're not going to run it because it's not our project. And I'll give you a perfect example. An example is like a community theater that I'm aware of, that they have a summer program. It's like a summer camp. Children come and they basically learn how to do a play. They learn set making and acting and all the other good things that go into putting on a play. And at the end of the summer camp, then there is a production, and it's absolutely fabulous. Things like that, things that expose our youth to what they're capable of and what's possible. Possibility is important. I think one of the things that this whole experience has taught me from the very beginning, and I was very blessed to be involved with Seven Pearls from the actual founding of it. And one of the things that it really, really, really brought home and really solidified for me is a sense of possibility. There is a lot that can be done when like-minded people get together who want to do good and who want to make good things happen. We know in the field of education, lots of exciting things can happen at all levels: collegiate, high school, elementary school. Let's get out of that thing that certain ethnic groups can't do math. We know better. We saw the movie Hidden Figures like everybody else. So anything that's going to expose young people to possibility and to a wider vision for themselves and a wider vision for their community and for their world. And we know that there are people who are boots on the ground all over the country, little small groups, big groups, all sorts of groups who are putting in that work. And definitely in any way that we can partner with them to be a support and to be a help, we are definitely excited about that. And we're looking for those people, and we're looking forward to being able to do that work. So that is a very exciting next phase now for us here at the Seven Pearls Foundation.